Welcome to Parole Law Show. You know that every Tuesday 9:35 हम लेके आते हैं Parole Law Show with Parole, who is the founder, president and managing attorney of the Parole Law Group PC in Newark, California, and is a member of the American Immigration Lawyer Association as well as the State Bar of California. He is a very passionate advocate of human rights, civil rights, social action या फिर social services के बारे में भी बातें करे तो फिर he is the person because he has a very strong interest in the political legal system in the US. He formed his law group to work on the causes he feels most ardent about. The law group focuses on immigration law with an emphasis on employment-based immigration and helps clients all over the US. तो फिर कोई भी अगर इमिग्रेशन वाले इश्यूज जो है उनको लेके आप परेशान हैं, आपको पता है कि you need somebody very experienced to just take care of that. You know what you have to do. You can actually fix an appointment with Parole 510-742-5887. Please check out kare parolelaw.com. Very informative website. And if you think that you have a question that you can ask on air, तो फिर yes, studio lines are open for you, my friend. 510-770-1550. पर फिलहाल, without further ado, let me welcome Parole. Hello, Shah. How are you on this morning?
I'm doing okay, Winnie. I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for the nice welcome, and welcome to all our listeners. Of course, we're going to talk about immigration today, but also a little bit about politics, what's going on, because they're all related. And anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. I hope you can hear me well, Rennie, because we're going to talk about some serious issues, of course, but at the same time, we will be willing to take your calls if you have any specific questions, right?
Right, Shah. So your voice is loud and clear, and I hope our listeners are, paying attention. Because yes, politics is something which always has some effect on the immigration laws, and who better can talk about it than Parole? And yes, listeners, मुझे पता है बहुत सारे listeners, you actually called me before the show that you have questions. So this is the time that you can actually dial our number 510-770-1550. फिलहाल चलिए सुनते हैं कि how politics is actually dominating the immigration field from Parole.
Yes, indeed. Of course, now we are having so many issues happening with the war in Ukraine, but now we have Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan, which honestly I don't know why she went there, because now it's going to trigger a lot of other issues with China, and once some kind of war, the Cold War, irregular war, starts, we are going to see major things happening on immigration. It might not affect most of our listeners, but it will definitely affect Chinese nationals. So brace for some kind of immediate actions coming in the immigration sector soon. If there is a war, hopefully if there's a war, well, hopefully there's no war, because that's going to be really bad. There's no way. I don't know how things are going to unfold with two superpowers fighting, especially with China being so strong, America already fighting one war in Ukraine, so many wars in the Middle East, you name it. I really seriously, I'm doubting a lot of things right now. So let's see how things are going to unfold. But on the side for India, as you know, we also have a lot of friction right now going on between the governments, and we are seeing a lot of people getting stuck while applying for their H-1B stamping, their H-4 stamping. They are getting what we call the 221G, famous 221G administrative processing, which is holding their cases sometimes for a long time. The problem when they don't deny your case, if they keep you holding, you might end up losing your job and not be able to come back, especially for H-1B. So one piece of advice before you travel, talk to a lawyer, and you can call us at 510-742-5887. We'll be glad to give you a consultation. But having said that, Rini, we are seeing some really major events happening in the world, and things are not going to get better. For one, we are officially in a recession. Maybe that's one of the reasons that there's a lot of push for war, because wars kind of get countries out of the recession, and that might be the reason, because it will trigger the defense industry to produce more weapons, and probably Taiwan will buy, etc., etc., and that might be the reason things are getting unfolding right now. But anyway, I'm not here to really discuss geopolitics. We are going to talk mostly about the immigration part of it, how this is going to affect us. Well, on China's side, definitely things are going to be harder for Chinese nationals. Now, for India, it might also be something that will trigger a lot of more ease on India if there's a shortage of labor and we cannot get the labor from China. So all those facts are going to factor in depending how things unfold on the international front and the State Department. And as you know, America is we are hawks, right? We like wars somehow. And now we are ending up in a mess that we might not be able to control. And that will also affect the ability for us to accept more immigrants. So all those things are going to happen. And unfortunately, we are going to see this getting more and more harsh on the people and on the immigrants. So be ready for that. And of course, the rest, it seems like the USCIS is encouraging a lot of applications coming up to boost STEM, but at the same time, while boosting STEM, they're not making it easy for many people from India to come aboard. The question is that, are we trying to favor maybe other countries? We don't know about that, but at the end of the day, we are seeing a mixed kind of messages coming from the Biden administration. On one side, they're encouraging STEM. On the other side, it's very difficult when you see people going to the STEM and then calling me and saying, hey, I'm stuck there. I can't come back. They just issue a 221G for something that happened years before, or no reason, no apparent reason, and now they're stuck. And plus, even getting an appointment for stamping an H-1B or H-4 is going almost till next year. So we are still in July, and appointments are going up to January right now, I think. In some cases, people are getting November, but I'm not seeing anything earlier than that. So anything on that, Rini, you want to ask?
Yes, actually, Shah, we have a caller, so let's take this call on air.
Yeah, let me take the caller, yes.
Hello, you're on air with Shah Pirali. Hello?
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 Hello? Yes, sir. Go ahead, I'm listening. Yes.
सर मैंने ग्रीन कार्ड के लिए अप्लाई किया हुआ है. हेलो.
हाँ जी, बताएं. आपने ग्रीन कार्ड के लिए अप्लाई किया हुआ है. फिर
अप्लाई किया हुआ है, लेकिन अभी आया नहीं. आई वांट टू गो इंडिया. तो क्या करना होगा मुझे?
So Shah, could you hear the question?
Yeah, he said he applied for his green card and it's pending probably, and he wants to go to India to visit. But I need more information.
What can I do?
What he filed. No, but what did you file exactly to apply for the green card? Did you apply to your wife? Did you apply to your employment? How did you apply?
तो आपने जो ग्रीन कार्ड अप्लाई किया है, तो वो क्या आपके वर्क के थ्रू आपने किया है या फिर आपके बीवी के थ्रू आपने किया है? कैसे आपने?
नहीं, मेरे बेटे के थ्रू किया है. ही इज ए सिटीजन.
अच्छा, okay.
Oh, your son. Okay. Well, you cannot travel until you get what we call an advance parole. Did he file an advance parole for you? I-131?
Yes. I advance parole I mentioned in the form.
No, but did you file it?
Yes.
Okay. So once it's approved, you can travel. either, maybe you should translate for me, my Hindi is not good. Either the I-131 is approved, the advance parole, or the green card is approved, then he can travel. Otherwise, if he travels, he won't be able to come back, plus his case will be stopped.
अच्छा,
Okay?
तो आपका जो I-131 है वो अगर अप्रूव हो जाए तो फिर आप ट्रैवल कर सकते हैं.
ठीक है जी. जस्ट मैं अपने बेटे से बात कराऊं इंग्लिश में, वो समझ लेंगे जरा आपसे.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, कोई बात नहीं, प्लीज.
Can you hear me?
हाँ,
Hello?
I think he is trying to, call his son who has filed so that he can actually talk to you. तो फिर, yeah. Yeah,
he can go ahead, talk to him and then call us back or something.
Yes, exactly.
Give me a call at the office.
Sorry, he's on meeting.
No problem.
You say 130 form advance roll?
131.
131.
हाँ जी. Okay. तो वो आपने आपके बेटे से आप पूछ लीजिए, अगर वो अप्रूव हो जाए तो फिर आप जा सकते हैं, या फिर अगर ग्रीन कार्ड अप्रूव हो जाए तो फिर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. पर अगर आपको लगता है कि यू नीड मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन, या फिर आपके बेटे से कहिए अगर वो इस बारे में बातें करना चाहते हैं, तो एक बार नंबर आप नोट कर लीजिए, 5107. हाँ जी,
जस्ट मिनट.
एक्सक्यूज मी.
तो सभी लिसनर्स, आप सभी के लिए द फोन नंबर
510.
यस, 510-742 5887.
5887. ये शाह जी का नंबर है जी?
जी हाँ, ये शाह जी का नंबर है.
ठीक है, इनसे बात कर सकते हैं. हाँ, ज्यादा डिटेल में बात.
ओके जी, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
थैंक यू.
ऑल राइट. तो लिसनर्स, आप भी हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं. 510-770-1550 है हमारा नंबर. यस शाह, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
यस, दिस इज अ वेरी frequent question, especially for parents. They always ask me that, when can they travel? They, the elderly people, they tend to, not elderly, even myself, get bored sitting in America not doing much, so they want to travel. But the way it works, if you file an adjustment of status and it's pending, if you travel without the advance parole, the case is deemed abandoned. That means you have abandoned the adjustment of status, not only the I-131. So that doesn't mean they completely abandon it, but they usually do, because automatically when you leave. So, but if you have the I-131 advance parole approved, you can travel. Not filing, but approved, okay? So once it's approved, you can travel. Or if your green card comes before that, then you don't have to worry, you can travel. So be very careful, just be patient a little bit. Advance parole is taking time now to get approved, so just bear with them, and then hopefully it will get approved, then you can travel. But don't travel without it. I repeat that, don't travel without it, okay? So I just wanted to mention that for everybody, because this is a very frequently asked question. And a lot of people get stuck and they don't realize how it works, and they end up by just leaving the country, and then it gets more complicated for them. So, can you hear me properly again?
Yes,
because I couldn't hear the phone. Okay, so let us talk now a little bit, since we are talking about advance parole and adjustment of status. I wanted to distinguish between adjustment of status and consular processing. An adjustment of status is, as the name mentioned, is to adjust the status. So you have to be in status usually to file that, or if you're filing as a child of as a father or mother of a U.S. citizen, or as a spouse of a U.S. citizen, even you're not in status, you can file the adjustment of status. I repeat that. The only exceptions to adjustment of status when you're not in status, that means you don't have, let's say for example, you come on a visitor visa. The visitor visa is already expired by even 1 month, 1 day, 10 years. Now your son or your daughter turned 21, you want to file, and they are U.S. citizen, you want to file. It doesn't matter. If you're still in the U.S., you can file an adjustment of status. And the same rule applies for spouses. If you came on a visitor visa, your visitor visa is already expired for years, and then you get married to a U.S. citizen, you can still adjust your status. What adjustment of status allows you to do, it allows you to actually get your green card without having to leave the United States. The problem now, if in the middle of this you decide to leave without an advance parole, everything gets abandoned and things get a lot more complicated for you. So don't travel outside when your case is pending to adjustment of status. Now, the second way to get your green card is to consular processing. For example, you file here, you process it at the U.S. Embassy for your parents, they get the interview, they come directly on a I-551 stamp because it's a green card process. The I-551 stamp is a kind of a temporary green card stamp. Allows you to come in until you get the green card here. So those two, oftentimes people ask me which one is the best. It's not only about being the best, it's about the situation. Sometimes it's better to do adjustment of status. Other times it's better to do consular processing. And most of the time, adjustment of status gives you a lot more freedom, but at the same time, it gives a lot of restrictions of not traveling. So each case is different. If you want us to assess, you can give us a call. We'll be glad to assess your case. So it is important that you know your stuff, because if you don't, you're going to end up by making a mistake. Or sometimes people get confused. They file only one form, and they think they file it. Like they will just file the I-130, and they will think that will give them the green card. But no, you have to attach the adjustment of status with it or the consular processing. So very, very important that you distinguish the two and how things work. Now, if you're married with a green card holder, you have to be in status when you file it. For example, you have to be on B1, B2 visa. Your I-94 has to be good. The status is your I-94. For example, F1, that's also the I-94. You cannot really just adjust status if you are not in status. Okay, it's very important when it comes to marrying a green card holder. As for green card holders, they cannot petition for their parents, so that rule doesn't matter for them. But for spouses, it's important that you are in status in order to adjust status when you're green card holder filing for your spouse. So all those small things can really turn to a nightmare if you don't really pay attention to them. And this is where we come in and we can help you smooth the whole thing out. We can file the case for you, follow up with you, prepare you, and ultimately get your green card. We have done a lot of them. I can't really count, maybe more than 1,000 of them. And it's going, and we are doing a good job with that. So if you need our help, feel free to reach out. So, any questions from your side, Doreen?
Shah, I just wanted to ask you, following up on this question and this caller, usually how much time does it take for a citizen to, get a green card for their parents?
Yeah, that's a good question. It doesn't take long, actually. The shortest time I had lately was 2 months. The longest time is around 1 year. Oh. But the good thing is that if you're doing an adjustment of status, you file everything properly, they can stay here until they get their green card. So it doesn't take that long. But for consular processing, it's taking longer because there's a backlog in India. So that's the reason that for those who file outside, they're getting stuck because there are not enough people to process all the cases. So it doesn't take that long. The average time is between 2 months to 1 year in here. And outside is around between 8 months to 1.5 years outside.
Well, that's a good information. रेडियो जिंदगी लिसनर्स, मैं हमेशा यही कहती हूँ कि अगर आप सोच रहे कि कोई भी इमिग्रेशन को लेके अगर आप परेशान हैं और your family members or your friends around the US, if they are having some immigration issue, you can always contact Shah Pirali Law Group PC, because he has an office not only in New York, California, but in San Francisco, in Washington DC. और अभी तो with technology, everything is so coming close together. You can always fix an appointment by calling 510-742-5887. Please check out piralilaw.com to have more information about how things are being done and about more about Shah Pirali, because he has been doing this for so many years now. He is very, very experienced, and he's always helping with a smiling face. So you just feel that you are covered, you are well taken care of. So yes, Shah Pirali को कांटेक्ट करने के लिए एक बार फिर से नंबर है 510-742-5887. Well, Shah, yes, back to you, because I know that you have a lot of updates to give us.
Yes, indeed. Also, we were talking about advance parole. A lot of people really kind of get in trouble because they use that advance parole on the U visa and they get stuck with it. The U visa allows somehow to file an advance parole to travel, but many times, even with the advance parole, they might not let you come back. And a lot of people don't understand, they get upset, but an advance parole, by the way, is not a guarantee of coming back. As the name suggests, it's a parole, which means they're giving you a chance so they can remove it anytime. So don't take things for granted. And to just let people know, immigration is not a right, it's a privilege. So you cannot just say, oh, it's my right on this and that. Yeah, you have rights. We fight for those rights. But at the same time, you need to work with the law. You cannot just ask things and then just because you think you're right, you will be right. Because once you're outside, you won't be able to come back. So be very, very careful what you do and make the right decision. Because a lot of times people read stuff on forums and they don't understand what is happening there. This one got it, how come I didn't get it? It doesn't work this way. Cases are different, issues are different, and people who write on forums, sometimes they lie. Okay, I got a lot of people calling me, oh, I saw this on the forum. I say, okay, then show me what proof they have. But they don't have any proof. They're just making up stuff, or they just got lucky on something, and they think that this is a general rule. It doesn't this way. And many times people don't realize that. They tend to overread. It's just like going online and trying to diagnose yourself with some disease, and then you start taking medication. You might end up dying with it. So be very, very careful, because I get this all the time. Facts, sometimes it's helpful, because a lot of people, for example, will say, oh, on so-and-so date I applied for this, and on so-and-so date I got this. That is helpful because we're getting a timeline. But if someone says, no, the law says this, my lawyer told me this, but they're just mixing the whole thing and then confusing you, you might end up in a worse situation than before. And I get this pretty much every week. Oh, I read this on the forum, I researched this, and this is what I saw. Yeah, but everything has an exception. Not everything follows the same rule. Just because someone won on something doesn't mean you're going to win on the other thing. Just because someone loses on something doesn't mean you're going to lose. So you need to be really, really careful what you read on the forums, and also what you hear from others. Many people now, not now, it's always been like that. They are doctors, they're lawyers and everything at the same time, and they will try to advise people. And they end up by creating more problems for them. I had a situation of a case where I clearly told the client not to do something. He went ahead and talked to some other friends and said, don't worry about it, just do it, you'll be fine. Guess what? Now his case is so complicated, I can't even fix it. And he's begging me to take the case. I say, even if I charge you $50,000, $100,000, I won't be able to fix it. You already made a mess. I told you it was very simple. Do exactly that. It was a very simple case. He just complicated it so much now, there's no way to fix it. I told him it's better to leave. And he's upset because I said that. But the truth is that if he had done the other thing I told him, which was very, very simple, just fight on this one issue, he would have been fine. He just went and did something completely wrong, and now it's not fixable. And I know this because I have done cases like that before, and it's not, the law is very clear on that. But the truth is that they listen to other people, and if you listen to another lawyer, I understand. But if you listen to someone who doesn't have a clue or have a little knowledge, it's very dangerous, and you will end up into a big problem, and worse, and even get deported. So be very careful in that. And I think, Rini, we don't have much time to go, so I'll just kind of recap for today, and then if you have any question, let me know, then we can kind of close.
No, I don't have a question, but yes, Radio Zindagi listeners, मैं आप सभी को यही कहना चाहूंगी कि this is something a very important point that Shah has raised, that you always talk to the person who is experienced in that field. You just do, जैसे कि हम अगर डॉक्टर नहीं है तो हम खुद को दवा देना is not a very good thing. वैसे ही like for law, you know, you cannot actually do that. You always need somebody who is experienced, who has that profession, who has too much knowledge about that, so that he can, you know, come and help you out. ऐसे किसी से आपको मशवरा तो हमेशा करना चाहिए, और इसीलिए मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ कि अगर कोई भी इमिग्रेशन लॉ को लेके आपको परेशानी है, कोई भी सवाल है, प्लीज डोंट डू इट बाय योरसेल्फ. प्लीज डू नॉट आस्क योर फ्रेंड्स, आस्क द एक्सपर्ट, आस्क शाह पिराली, because he is having so much of, you know, experience in this field. He is always there. He is the founder, president and managing attorney of the Shah Pirali Law Group, and he is easily reachable. तो फिर नंबर एक बार फिर से आप नोट कर लीजिए, 5107425887. Yes, Shah, please, let's wrap it up because we have only 1 minute in hand.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Rini, and thank you all listeners.